Hello YouTube, it's Carrie here, and I'm gonna do another recipe video for you guys today. I was gonna make lunch today and I thought there's a bunch of stuff that I have to use, and very often when I have a lot of veggies in the fridge that need to be used, I make a soup. So today I'm actually gonna be doing a Thai lemongrass soup with chicken and veggies, and so let me go over the ingredients with you. I'm gonna go over some of the spices first. This is lemongrass. You can find this in some grocery stores and markets. You can also, I think, find it in a jar, lemongrass paste or essence or powder. Not essential for this dish. You can add in things you like or not, depending on your preferences and what's available in your area. But today I will be using some of this. For prep, what I'm going to be doing is splitting it in half and then chopping it up. It's going to be put in the broth first before I add the other ingredients in. Then I'm also going to be putting in some Thai basil. Thai basil has a bit of almost like a licoricey flavor, but you can use this or whatever basil you have. I'm also putting in some cilantro or fresh coriander. It's going to have a decent dose of garlic, because garlic is delicious. It's also going to have ginger, and you can do it two ways. You can either grate it or you can actually slice it into the broth. But if you slice it into the broth, probably not a good idea to eat it. That's pretty intense. At the end, I'm going to be adding some chili peppers. So I have these 2 chili peppers that I picked up at the local farmer's market, but you can use whatever chili peppers you like. I am also putting in some tomatoes. I have 2 different kinds of mushrooms here. So I have shiitake mushrooms, which are super delicious and have such a great umami flavor, so it gives that real savory, rich flavor to foods. I'm also putting in some king mushrooms because we have some of these. These are king oyster mushrooms. We have some of these that need to be used. I am also putting in eggplants. I think these are Chinese eggplants, maybe. You can use whatever eggplants you like. The longer types like this are a little bit more suitable for this type of a dish. Because they don't have seeds, they cook a little bit faster, and they don't have as much bitterness, so you don't have to pre-salt them like you would a large Italian eggplant. I am also going to be putting in a whole bunch of greens, so I like to load up my soups with greens because they make it filling and delicious. So I'm putting in these greens. I have a whole pack of those. I am also putting in chicken. So these are chicken tenders that I will be defrosting and slicing up to add to the soup. The base of the soup is also going to have chicken stock and water. Normally this calls for lime, but I don't have lime today, so I'm actually going to use lemon juice because you just want a little bit of citrus for that nice kind of acid balance in the soup. I'm also using soy sauce instead of fish sauce. Fish sauce you can find in most Asian grocery stores, and I think a lot of grocery stores are carrying it these days. But again, you don't need that for the dish. You can substitute in something like soy sauce. And of course, I'm using some chili sauce. Yum! Because this is a spicy soup. Because I love spicy. As you might be able to tell from some of my recipes that I've already posted. Alright, so I'm going to get to prepping all of these delicious ingredients. And then I'll be back for more. So let's get started. I have some oil that I just put in the bottom of the stock pot. My lemongrass I put into a sachet because when you boil it, it can get little pieces in the soup, and you don't really want that in your final product. So putting in a sachet, you can take it all out instead of having to strain it out of the broth first and pre-cook the broth. It saves you a little bit of time. So I'm going to turn the heat on. As you can see, I have the ginger cut into fairly large pieces so that they can be picked out, or you can eat them depending on your preferences, and the garlic is in a rough chop. So that's going to go straight into the bottom of our pot. Let me get just in here to mix it all around. So you just want to brown it a little bit. Changes the flavor of the garlic when you caramelize it, and the ginger as well. All right. Okay. So after that, we're going to add our, let me check on. Perfect. After that, we're going to add our stock straight into the pot. And we're going to turn the heat up to bring this up to a simmer before we turn it back down again. At this point, we can put our our lemongrass into the pot. I'm just going to take it and tie this sort of loosely to the side so that we can, it's not even really tying, it's just securing it to the side so we can fish it out later. The next thing that we're adding in is our soy sauce and our chili sauce. So that can go straight in there. What we want to do is let this come up to a bit of a boil, and then we're going to turn it down to a medium simmer, and that's when we're going to start adding in our vegetables. So it's time to add our veggies in. We're at a bit of a rolling simmer here. I have my king mushrooms chopped up and my shiitakes, so let's put those in next. The great thing about this soup is that you can pretty much use all different kinds of veggies. You can use different seasoning bases as well, and just use up the stuff that you bought and you have in the fridge that is going and needs to be used. Great idea for that. After that, we're going to add in an eggplant, and like I said, you can use any different kinds of eggplant that you like. Swap them all in. Our chicken is going in next, and again, you can use whatever protein is your preference or that you have on hand. And then we're going to put in the greens. Now this is going to fill up your pot quite a bit. One box of broth will probably not be enough to cover all of the vegetables in this pot. And some of these are pretty big, like with all the greens like this. That'll shrink down a bit as the greens cook. And then the next thing we're going to add in is our lemon juice or lime juice. Lime juice is preferable. We have our tomatoes that we're going to leave a little bit further until the end, just about until it's about 5 minutes before it's ready. And then I've got water here to add in. Now, it's actually better if you have like a kettle. You can set your kettle on, get the water boiling and add that, and that way it won't lower the temperature of your soup. I'm just adding tap water right now, so I want to fill it so that you want to get the vegetables mostly covered. So right now when I press down on things and stir it around, the liquid is right there at the top. It's about a few inches from the top of the pot. And that's how much you want to fill. So again, just get this going until it comes back up to a boil. So right now it's on high. Once I see the liquid start to bubble a bit, I will be turning that down. Alright, so my veggies are bubbling away in the broth right now, and we want to leave it for a fair amount of time. The longer this cooks, the eggplant will cook through, all the veggies will cook through. And the eggplant, the longer you cook it, actually almost becomes like a thickener in the soup and adds a lot of body to it. So we can simmer this along on a medium-low temperature, probably for a good half an hour. All right, so I actually added on another 15 minutes because I found that after just a half an hour, the eggplants were still a little like spongy and not completely cooked through. I am going to try this now to see how it is, but you can see that it's almost to the point where it's starting to fall apart, so it should be cooked through all the way now. Yeah. Next thing to do is put in the tomatoes. I'm going to plop all those tomatoes in. And then we're going to let this cook for about another 5 minutes. And then we'll be ready to finish it all off. So the 5 minutes has elapsed, and we are almost ready to serve. So right now I'm actually going to turn the heat off. We are going to fish out our lemongrass sachet. As you can see, it just comes out like that. It's on the side. And then we are going to stir in our chili peppers that we sliced up. And like I said, normally you use like a red chili pepper, but you can use whatever you have on hand. That's all good. And then I'm going to stir in the fresh herbs. So this is the Thai basil and the fresh coriander. And that is the last step, and we are ready to serve. Yum. This recipe, because it has to simmer for so long to cook all the veggies, takes probably about an hour in total of cooking time. But doing a big batch cook like this, like you can take this and freeze portions so that you can have it for the week, or keep some in the freezer so that it's there for you when you need a meal to defrost, and then just pop it in the microwave. So this is my soup. I want to be careful not to pour it all over the counter. I have a nice bite here with a little bit of everything. That lemongrass comes through really nicely. Yum. This is delicious. And again, you can use different types of ingredients, whatever you like. You can put shrimp in it. It doesn't have to be chicken. Yummy. Also, if you guys are interested in learning how to use different types of ingredients and stuff like that, please shoot me a message or put a message down below in the comments and say, oh, well, there's this vegetable I saw. What is it? I don't know what it is. I asked the grocer. They said it's XYZ. How do I use this? I've got a lot of different ideas for a lot of different types of ingredients, and I would love to work with you guys on that, on sort of expanding your pantry of ingredients that you can work with. Have a great one. Bye-bye.